The next step is to introduce a method of using Magic HTM equipment of Magic series. First, we need to recognize such a device. It has a printing size capabilities of 220 times 220 times 220 mm. It uses a quick detachable single nozzle. By default, we install a normal temperature print head, which is by looking by the NT logo, which means normal temperature. In the toolkit, there is also high temperature print head. You can perform a replacement operation on it. A critical difference between high temperature print head and normal temperature print head. It is in the material used in the heating region and different use of voltage. The detailed difference can be checked from the manual. At the last second page, let's take an example of the use of a normal temperature print head. Once our device has completed all installation, we first need to operate the device. Hold the switch button. Wait for the device to connect the power. The motherboard beep sounds. The device is powered on. After the power on is complete, first we need to know the 4 steps required in our printing process. First is the leveling. Second is the insert of filament into the print head. Third is the slicing of model. Slice the model into the code formats that the device can run. Fourth is our printing and a process of dismantling the model. The first step we demonstrate is the first step. Perform a leveling operation. Then our Magic HTM device uses the automatic leveling function. We just need to go to the Tools screen. Click on Leveling. Then the print head will automatically start measuring the position of each point of our platform to determine whether the platform is flat or not, and in uneven locations, record different heights. Then compensate for the various heights during printing. Then we can see our automatic leveling in operation. When our probes touch our platform, there is also a height error between the nozzle and the platform. Then this height difference is what we need to input to the device, which is our auto frequency modulation compensation parameter, which already complete before shipping. Then when we use it for the first time, just need to print. Then in the follow-up process of our use, if we find that the nozzles are not at the same height as the platform, there is no ideal height for us, just need to change our automatic leveling compensation parameters. Scaling up the parameters or reducing by 0.1 mm, then reburn it again. This will complete our parameter changes. To reach to the optimal printing effect, one of the ways of changing parameter is to use a computer. Please watch the video for details. HTM Automatic Leveling Compensation Parameter Change Tutorial. After a procedure of automatic leveling, then our leveling procedure is complete. So now we move on to the second procedure, also known as our loading and unloading filaments program. Prior to loading and unloading filaments, first we need to perform a warm-up of the print head. First, go to the Tools screen. Go into Preheat interface. The first row indicates the heat bed temperature, which is the temperature for printing platform. Click the middle showing the numbers. Red indicates our preheat is loading. Left indicates the actual temperature. Right indicates the target temperature. We click on the left and right arrows. Can control a change in our target temperature. Then we need to set our fixed target temperature. After setting, wait till it heats up automatically. All we need to do this time is to load and unload the filaments. So we need to heat up our print head temperature, which is the temperature of second row. Click on the middle box, then we can see our actual temperature is rising from 34 to 41. Our target temperature is 205 degrees Celsius. If needed as a change, We do the same thing. Just click on the left and right arrow, because we use the common PLA filaments. We only need a target temperature of 205 degrees Celsius. Our third one shows the temperature of the chamber's temperature of our device. The temperature setting method of the chamber is slightly different from the two above. If we need to set our chamber temperature to print the PCABS and other high-temperature materials, such as PEKK, the first step needed to do is to go into our fan panel. In the center, click the box and make it become 100% on. Our chamber fan is on. Now, we set a temperature for the chamber. The highest temperature for the chamber is 90 degrees centigrade, so we can only set a maximum target temperature of 90 degrees centigrade. This is a different way of setting up our temperature chamber. Then it needs attention. Be sure to turn on our fan first. Then set the target temperature. PLA is not required. Chamber temperature. Thus we need off it. We can see our print head temperature has reached to the target temperature. Then after completing the preheat, first we need to take out the PLA filaments that we give away. When we take out the filament, there will be some bending in the front end. We need to align the front about 10 cm to make a break. Make it a straight line. Only 10 cm is enough. After straightened, first we need to do is to make a cutting at the front. Cut into a middle pointed shape. After completing the two steps, hang our filament into our filament box. Note that the direction is from the bottom to the top. Then insert our filament into the inlet part. So here is our break detection position. After the filament enters, pressing down on the material break detection sensor indicates that the filament is properly installed. When we run out of filament, our break detection sensor triggers. Our device automatically pauses our printing. From this location, the material is fed continuously until all filaments cannot be fed. Into the print head position. At this point, we need to go to our loading and unloading screen. Once in the loading and unloading screen, we see two icons. One is to unload the filaments downwards. One is to load the filaments upwards. So the first thing we need to do is adding filaments is also known as loading filaments. So we need to click on the downward button to load. After click, all gears will continue to bring our consumables into our nozzles. Then when we observe that the nozzle has filament, that string appears. We click the stop button. Our loading of filaments is complete. When we have finished printing, we need to remove the filament. We need to heat our filament. Once heated up, we click on the unload. Remove the filament. It is recommended to remove the filament from the filament box before removing them. And pull the filament with our hands with a slight force. Note that a slight pull with a little force is enough. At this point, we click on Unload. After our gear has unloaded the filaments from the print head, we pull out the filament immediately to prevent the tip of filaments melts in the gear and cause a jam. After all our filaments have been pulled out, we click on Stop. This completes our loading and unloading of filaments. After the second step is completed, we move on to the third step, that is, a slicing process for our model. Please watch the video for details. IEMAI3D Expert Slicing Software for the first time tutorial. After slicing and processing, once we know the exact location of the print, apply the specific location of our print with solid glue. Solid glue is in the kit. Apply an even application. After horizontal application, we apply it again vertically. 2 times is enough. The glue can be used for 1 to 2 times. If you need to clean after use, just scrub with water. We move on to our fourth step, which is the printing. Go into the print interface. Go to our Save folder. 03 file. Find one of the models with last and click on the model folder. And click Print. At this point, just wait for our actual temperature. To reach our print temperature, our device will automatically start printing. Then when printing, it is recommended to observe the nozzle first, whether height with the first layer of the platform is appropriate. If not, we need to change the automatic leveling compensation parameters accordingly. The specific changes are as follows. Please watch the video for details. HTML automatic leveling compensation parameter change tutorial. Then at this point, we just need to wait for its printing to be completed. Then remove the model to complete the whole process.